Hello and welcome to Everyday Tarot, your daily dive into the divine wisdom of the tarot. I'm your host, Camille A. Saunders, healer, tarot enthusiast, and professional witch, and today I'm talking about tarot and butterflies. Whether you're a seasoned tarot reader or just starting to explore, this podcast offers daily insights, intuitive messages, and practical advice drawn from the cards. Each episode is designed to help you connect with your inner wisdom, find clarity in your decisions, and tap into the energy of the universe. Tune in every day, Monday through Friday, for fresh perspectives and empowering guidance from the tarot as interpreted by me. If you love the show, the best way to support it for free is by listening daily, leaving a review, and subscribing or following in your favorite podcast app. If you weren't able to attend live or didn't register in time, you can go ahead and get my tarot card crafting workshop, which includes a full hour-long recording, my step-by-step method, examples of the cards I've created, journaling questions, and PDF to walk you through it for just $33. I'm also going to be offering a 12-week Tarot for Transformation live course kicking off at the end of August this month. So if you're interested, you can sign up for more information about that as well. I have just updated my Patreon benefits to be bigger and better than ever. So if you want an individual card pulled for you once a month live on the podcast, join the Everyday Tarot Patreon family at the lovers level. If you'd like to support the podcast even further, you can get a one-time individual 5-card reading in addition to all the other benefits if you join the Witch Bitch level on the Patreon. If you're local to the greater Puget Sound area, join us at our next Let's Talk Tarot meetup group event. If you're interested in my free PDF with the 2025 5-card tarot spread I created just for you, my lovely listeners, at the beginning of this year, you can get that by joining my newsletter list. My weekly newsletter always has the most up-to-date information on upcoming events, presentations, musings, and more. And if you don't already know, I am a sex and relationships therapist and coach, seeing clients virtually all over from my home office. I love working with queer, poly, and witchy clients. If you'd like to work with someone that doesn't judge you, is witchy just like you, and helps you learn how to deal with anxiety, chronic pain or illness, communication issues, self-advocacy, and sex, head to my website and book a free consultation now to start your journey. You can find the links for any of these offers in the show notes or on my website, CamilleASaunders.com/everydaytarot, in addition to the images of the cards I pull on each episode. All right, so welcome to Season 12, where I'm talking all about tarot and animals. If you haven't listened to my other seasons yet, you can check those out. Season 1, I talked tarot basics. Seasons 2 and 3, I went through all the major arcana cards and an overview of the 4 suits. Season 4, I talked tarot and pop culture. Season 5, I went through 13 common tarot spreads. Season 6, 7, 8, and 9, I went through all of the suits, starting with wands, pentacles, swords, and cups. Season 10 was all about tarot and witchcraft, and Season 11 was about tarot and plant allies. And now we are into Season 12, like I said, where I'm talking all about tarot and animals, and today I'm talking about tarot and butterflies. So I'll go through a description of the animal, symbolism, and animal magic, and then its relation to the tarot. And then we will pull a card at the end of the session to see what message butterflies have for us today. All right, so I am pulling information from Wikipedia today about butterflies. So butterflies are winged insects. They're from the Lepidopteridae superfamily. Let's see if I can say it. Papilionidae. Characterized by large, often brightly colored wings that often fold together when at rest, and a conspicuous fluttering flight. The oldest butterfly fossils have been dated to the Paleocene about 56 million years ago, though molecular evidence suggests that they likely originated in the Cretaceous period. Butterflies have a 4-stage life cycle, which they are well known for, and like other holometabolous insects, they undergo complete metamorphosis. So winged adults lay eggs on plant foliage, on which their larvae, known as caterpillars, will feed. The caterpillars feed and grow, sometimes very rapidly, and when fully developed, pupate into a chrysalis. When metamorphosis is complete, the pupal skin splits open, the adult insect climbs or kind of wriggles out, they expand its wings to dry, and then they fly off. It says some butterflies, especially in tropical areas, have several generations in a year, while others have a single generation, and a few in cold locations may take several years to pass through their entire life cycle. Butterflies are often polymorphic, and many species make use of camouflage, mimicry, and aposematism to evade their predators. And aposematism is where it's the advertising by an animal to potential predators that it's not worth attacking or eating. So those are usually when they're like brightly colored, when they're venomous or toxic, have sharp spines, things like that. So more of like a defense or like a mechanism or an offense mechanism. Some butterflies, like monarchs and the painted lady, migrate over very long distances every year. Let's see what else. Let's see. Like we said, we talked about the history. There's different kinds. They have 4 scale-covered wings, which give the Lepidera their name. It's in ancient Greek for something like lepis, scale, plus perton, which is wing. Their scales give butterfly wings their color. They are pigmented with melanins that give them blacks and browns, as well as other types of like acidic derivatives and other things that give them different colors or iridescence. But they actually have like scales on themselves. As all insects, the body is divided into 3 sections: the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. If you remember from maybe like elementary school, I feel like we learned those things then. Let's see, they do have antennae. It says that most families of butterfly, the antennae are clubbed, unlike those of moths, which may be thread-like or feathery. The long proboscis can be coiled when not in use for sipping nectar from flowers. Butterflies are distributed worldwide except Antarctica, totaling some 18,500 species. So really they are nearly all over the world. The monarch butterfly is native to the Americas. That is the very widespread, at least in the US one, that is orange with black on it, very well known. And monarchs are well known for their migration route. They come up from Mexico and Southern California and even through Florida. They go north in the US, and then, let's see, I'm watching their migration route, like a GIF of it. And then they come back down into the warmer areas as well. So they have a long migration cycle, and a very long distance to go. We talked about their life cycle. Let's just stop there. Let's talk a little bit more about the animal symbolism or magic of butterflies. So on TanyaCastile.com, her website, she talks about butterflies, meaning and symbolism about cycles of death, or cycles and death. The butterfly, with its stunning transformation from caterpillar to winged beauty, powerfully symbolizes death, rebirth, and the natural cycles of life. As the butterfly sheds its old form and emerges anew, it mirrors the human experience of letting go and embracing change. Each of us, like the butterfly, must go through phases where parts of our identity die in order to make room for something new to emerge. Whether it's moving on from a relationship, changing careers, or undergoing personal growth, these moments of transition can be daunting, yet they hold the promise of renewal. Butterfly reminds us that death is not an end, but a necessary step toward rebirth. For instance, when we face major life changes, we may feel as though a part of us is dying. Maybe our old ways of thinking or behaving no longer serve us. This can be an uncomfortable or painful time, just like when the caterpillar is in its cocoon, in this time of stillness and introspection, that the seeds of our transformation are being planted. The butterfly teaches us that it's okay to retreat, to wrap ourselves in a cocoon of self-care and reflection, knowing that the temporary period of darkness is paving the way for something beautiful and free to emerge. Cycles are a natural part of life, both on the grand and small scale. Every day, cells in our body die and regenerate, seasons come and go, and life transitions continuously unfold. The butterfly's life cycle, from egg to caterpillar to chrysalis and finally to its winged form, serves as a reminder that we too must embrace the ebb and flow of life's changes. Whether we're experiencing a significant rite of passage, like starting a new phase in life, or simply learning from the small challenges of daily life, the butterfly encourages us to trust the process of transformation. By doing so, we gain the freedom to evolve and grow, allowing ourselves to fully embody the beauty of our own potential. All right. So, and again, that was from TanyaCastile.com, her website. Other symbolism. So yeah, I think butterflies are a common symbolism, not just in tarot, but in other places and ages and cultures for metamorphosis, right? They have these intricate phases of change that if you have a garden or go outside into parks and things, you will watch them go throughout that process throughout the year. It's a long process to reach the kind of striking beauty that we end up seeing as butterflies. And again, if you've ever watched like monarch butterflies come out of their cocoon or their chrysalis into an unfold, or any sort of like, I've often watched them in like, what's it like, fast forwarded videos online, because we don't really get monarchs where I live. I don't see them very often. I've seen them down in Arizona and other places, but where I live up in Washington, it's pretty far north for them to go. And so I don't see them I don't know if I've ever seen them where I live, maybe in slightly warmer places around me in the Pacific Northwest, but watching the videos, like, it looks painful when they're coming out of their chrysalis. They're like wriggling and writhing, and it takes a long time, even though, right, their life stages are relatively fast in our human experience of them. When we watch a butterfly, like, it doesn't look super comfortable when they are coming out of it. There's a lot of, again, it's a very much like a birthing process where it's like enduring, and again, like lots of like writhing and like an intense process. Butterflies teach us about impermanence and consistently forward momentum of life. All things grow, evolve, and change. When we think of the butterfly and tarot, there are different things to get into there. Let me see if I want to talk about anything else with symbolism. No, let's go ahead and get into the tarot aspect. It says our first inclination might be to associate them with the suit of cups, which represents dreamy, loving aspects of the soul and psyche. However, we often find butterflies fluttering in the swords cards. As in the suit of swords, the element of air is symbolic of thoughts and thinking. A butterfly is a creature of the air, and their marriage with the suit of swords is a natural link. So if you have tarot decks, look through them, see how they show up. I had at least like 10 cards across multiple decks that had butterflies in them, so I had to choose, I tried to choose 3 very different decks and 3 very different depictions of butterflies and different suits to talk about today. But yeah, a lot of this metamorphosis, changing things, great change, all of those things come through in symbolism. And also that aspect of like going inward, the introspection aspect, and then coming out when you're sort of like ready to transform your life. I know butterflies show up in the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. Butterflies are often in the Fool card, in this like leap of faith, embarking on a daring journey. The butterfly represents the Fool's willingness to take a leap of faith, trusting in the unknown, and embracing the transformative power of life's adventures. Again, often shows up in the suit of swords, this emblem of optimism and resiliency amid the turbulent environment of difficulties and conflicts. They represent our capacity for mental clarity clarity and profound insight, especially in the face of adversity. And again, this is because the suit, maybe of butterflies or swords, represents the world of intelligence, communication, and the mind. Imagine a butterfly flying through a storm with grace and purpose, its delicate wings managing the turbulent gusts. In the suit of swords, butterflies are a symbol of the transforming power that may be attained by upholding inner tranquility and seeking a wider viewpoint despite challenging circumstances. So again, right, we can all relate to those aspects of going through the storm, right, having this sort of like delicate aspect of self and having to go through a lot to get to the destination. Butterflies in the suit of swords prompt us to adopt a broader perspective. Again, if you think of a butterfly, right, going through this graceful flight, but also, right, going through this big migration period, right, they see a lot throughout their life cycle. They remind us to step back from the immediate turmoil, see the bigger picture, gain distance maybe from intense emotions, and engaging in detached observation. We can achieve a clearer understanding of the situation at hand. The expanded viewpoint allows us to consider alternative viewpoints and explore innovative strategies to overcome challenges. When butterflies grace your tarot spreads, they encourage you to tap into your intuitive faculties and trust the process of transformation. Their presence invites you to embrace the beauty of the journey and have faith in the unfolding path before you. I love that. Okay, so let's get into some of the cards that I pulled from my decks. So I would say an obvious one is the Death card, which is all about transformation and change, and not necessarily literal death, although again, like everything dies, everything goes through that process as well. So I pulled the Death card from my Herb Crafters tarot deck, and it depicts marigolds, and it has monarch butterflies on there, and sort of the Mexican cultural tradition of honoring the dead on Dia de los Muertos, and the sugar skulls and all of the orange, again, like marigolds that get celebrated and used on that day. So, the Herb Crafters Tarot, they talk about death, again depicted as the marigold. Honor that which is passing, celebrate the beauty and fragility of life, and welcome endings. It says 13 beeswax candles glow inside a mandala of marigold flowers in a dark room. A calavera, a skull, painted in striking reds, purples, and greens, is illuminated in the center, often talked about as a sugar skull. Delicate and colorful, papel picado, so cut tissue paper, flags frame the top and bottom of the mandala. Monarch butterflies are drawn to the rich scent of the flowers. All things come to an end. Find closure so you may accept renewal. First, pay homage to what must die. It has given you life. The rich scent and vibrant color of the marigold is said to lead the souls of the beloved dead home, so we may celebrate them and the lives they've lived. Honor your experiences as they pass. Like the delicate paper flags, life is fragile and fleeting. Delight in the beautiful moments, as the bright marigold flowers will eventually wither and fade. Embrace this time of transition. A sacred contract is reaching completion. Let the petals fall. And again, that is the Death card from the Herb Crafters Tarot, which is my newest deck. I also pulled the Knight of Swords. So, right, I talked about swords as being a common suit that depicts or has butterflies depicted in them. And I pulled the Knight of Swords from the Sassorabito Tarot deck by Sassia Burrington. And the Herb Crafters Tarot is written by Letitia Guthrie and artwork by Joanna Powell Colbert. All right, the Knight of Swords. It's about being frank, logical, swift, and tactless. Though perhaps not the most tactful, she is frank and clear about her actions and moves swiftly to cut through bullshit to get stuff done. She works logically, a la Spock, intelligent, authoritative, and blunt, action-oriented, aggressive, and can be a bit of a know-it-all, and ambitious. So again, butterflies are depicted in a lot of swords cards, but I pulled this Knight one. It has a very stunning image where it actually almost looks like a butterfly has been like severed in half, and it's like placed over top of someone's like head, or like where their third eye, where your third eye like chakra is, or yeah, in between your eyebrows. So it's also this like logic, right? Being swift, literally, and also just being sort of unrelenting in transformation. Again, when I think of butterflies, it's like there are these intense life stages that go from, right, tiny eggs to cute little caterpillars to a fairly large chrysalis, and then to much bigger butterflies. And again, often through like not that long of a time period, at least again in our human measurement of time. And so there is this sort of like unrelenting, like, nope, we're on to the next thing. We're changing. You got to keep moving. You got to keep moving forward aspect of it that really resonates, I think. And then finally, I pulled the 8 of Wands from the Lila and Olive Ophidia Rosa tarot. Again, there were multiple cards in this one, a cups card, as well as other swords cards that depicted butterflies, but I tried to pull a different suit. So I pulled the Wands, 8 of Wands card, and this one in the deck says insist upon your own metamorphosis. And again, wands are related to fire energy or signs, so there is this sort of, again, like transformative power. If you think of, again, like a spark transforming into a literal fire, that is quite the metamorphosis as well. And I actually found on, let's see, keen.com talking about the 8 of Wands and how, like, what they're related to. Denotes sudden changes, fast movement, decisiveness. In matters of the heart, the 8 of Wands speaks of a love that is exciting and developing quickly. It's about movement, progress, travel, excitement, decisiveness, being in love, and a quick turn of events. Again, it is a fire sign. It's associated with Sagittarius and the planet of Jupiter. It often depicts 8 sprouting wands hurling at speed through the air in a lush green landscape. Their flight implies change, excitement, movement, and travel. All the arrows are often pointed in one direction, suggesting a focus on their target. The energy generally associated with this card is fast moving. Again, when we think of butterfly migration, right, going all the way from the northeast of the US down to Mexico and back is very long if you're a butterfly, and even if you're flying on a plane, that's pretty long. So it denotes this movement, travel, swift action. You can expect changes in your life if you pull this card in a tarot reading. Someone may be coming to visit you, or an adventure awaits. The tarot card depicts great excitement. It's an indication of like feeling excited about someone, maybe like sparking an interest, a crush, again, like the idea of getting butterflies in your stomach. So it is this very like active energy, the 8 of Wands. It might be someone seeing you as jubilant and thrilling, energetic, love to travel. Again, things we associate with Sagittarius signs, genuine thirst for life, view positivity. What else? It says in like a love reading, the 8 of Wands denotes falling in love quickly and deeply. You may have been struck by Cupid's arrow. You get butterflies when you see a certain person. The rush of feelings that accompanies the 8 of Wands card also suggests you're charging up your confidence to take action. So again, very action-oriented card. If we think of the minor arcana as a microcosm of the hero's journey, like in the major arcana, from the Fool to the World. In the minor arcana, we usually have from the Ace to the 10. So with an 8 of Wands, right, we're pretty close to the end. We're in the like 80% of the way through the book. Conflict is happening, like the adventure, right? Like things are happening, big things. That's usually like sort of the climax of the book. And then we sort of like wrap it up at the end of that. So I really think of eights as that movement and change, again, like a rekindling, a flame, a spark, traveling, moving house, planning a trip, new relationship energy, again, just like lots of travel and movement as well. So yeah, that felt very matched with the Eight of Wands cards there. And again, I pulled this from keen.com about the Eight of Wands, and I'll link that in the show notes. Yeah, let's go ahead and pull a card. The message from butterflies today. I'm going to pull from my other new deck. It's Grow Time, 48 cards for Do Good, Feel Good Business Owners by Chantel Davis Gray. This is a lovely deck, I thought, because it's about growing and changing, right? Like treating ourselves kindly, that this would be a good one to pull from for the butterfly. So what message does the butterfly have for us? It says, write down 3 wins from the last month. They can be tiny wins, and yes, they still count, right? So this is marking our wins, so doing celebration, right? And also marking like the time that has passed, right? For me here, I'm recording this on August 5th, so we've sort of just entered a new month. This is coming out for you on August 8th. We're in, the second week of August this year. So what were your wins from July, right? Write down 3 things that you're proud of, something that happened, or even just write progressions along your journey. It's a way to mark time. It's a way to celebrate ourselves. Sometimes summer can feel like it's going so quickly. People get a lot of like FOMO, at least where I live, or feeling very like, oh my gosh, the summer is slipping by and it's going to be so dark soon. And oh my God, it's terrible. So right, when we celebrate our wins, even small ones, and help mark time, that helps make us appreciate, right, the time as it passes by, and not just always looking towards the next, what's the next thing I have to be doing, what's the next thing that I have to be preparing for. Like if you go into any store right now and they're like have Halloween stuff out or Christmas stuff out, and you're like, oh my God, it's almost fall, it's almost the holidays, and it's like, chill, like it's just August. I know in some places kids have gone back to school already, but again, like it's okay, like time continues to pass, you're not behind, you're doing great. And so write down 3 of those wins for yourself from the past month. All right, well, in closing, if you'd like to join me on the journey of using the tarot for transformation, you can click on the link in the show notes to indicate your interest to get more info. We'll be working together for 12 weeks of calls and journaling and discussion, and going through 12 different of the major arcana cards, and thinking about how to embody them and how that is going to transform our lives through working with the tarot. Links for the tarot decks I talk about will always be in the show notes and on my website if you'd like to look at them or purchase them. And thanks for joining me today on Everyday Tarot. Just as a reminder, the podcast comes out daily, Monday through Friday for all of 2025. You can email me, me@CamilleASaunders.com, with your thoughts, questions, and more. All right, see you soon. Bye-bye.